What's up, my fellow rabble-rousers? It's Ari. It's a new year, and that means a new anti-haul. Well, it doesn't necessarily just mean a new anti-haul, but you know the type of thing I'm trying to do. So I'm going to do my first slew of products I don't want to buy in 2019, which is really exciting. As you know, I love filming these videos, so it's always fun to get back to something I'm really good at, which is criticism. It's a special skill. As always, this format is credited to Amber's Beauty Chair and Kimberly Clark. If there is a product I talk about that you're interested in or you like, and I don't like it, that is nothing to you. I don't mean any offense by it. This is just my opinion. Everything comes from a constructive place. Everything I'm saying for a reason. I'm not just trying to be edgy for the sake of edgy. Enough chitter-chatter, let's get on to the products. So I'm starting off with a bang. I'm starting off with 3 Colourpop collections. I think that might be like a record. Number of Colourpop collections featured in an Ireland anti-haul is now set to 3. Those collections are the Becky G collection, the new iluvsarahii collection, and the Kathleen Lights Twinkling Lights holiday collection. So I'm going to start with the Becky G collection. I will say kudos to Colourpop for collaborating with someone, 1, new, and 2, that I actually know. I'm down with the kids. I know Becky G was the new Yellow Power Ranger and she had a song with Cher Lloyd. And this isn't a bad collection, but if you put it against the next collection I'm going to talk about, which is the iluvsarahii collection, if you put these 2 palettes next to each other, theoretically, you could hold a gun to my head and tell me to identify which palette is which, and I'd probably struggle. These palettes are just so similar to each other. It's warm neutrals with a pop of teal. I don't know if it's the fault of Colourpop for making too many collaborations with similar themes or something like that, or if everyone just happens to have the same ideas, but it's kind of a disservice to Becky G and iluvsarahii because they both clearly want these collaborations to do well, but it's just being washed out because every other collaboration is just the same thing over and over. And that's not fair on them. I'm actually sympathising with the people who made these collaborations because I feel like they deserve to have an opportunity to put out a product that's going to be noticed and liked, and I feel like Colourpop's just being very complacent. Not only is it going to be bad for the shopper, it's going to be bad for Colourpop, and it's going to be bad for the people who are collaborating with these palettes. Get it together, Colourpop. And then the last collection I need to talk about is the Kathleen Lights Twinkling Lights Holiday Collection. Motherfuck! Another Kathleen Lights collaboration? Seriously? Now, I get that Colourpop is following the money. Kathleen Lights has a lot of fans who will buy a lot of the things she puts out. This just feels repetitive. I understand with the Dream Street palette and the Zodiac palette that this probably feels like something that Kathleen would have curated herself and picked out the names and picked out the cover. This holiday collection, this could be anyone's collection. This literally feels like Colourpop took a collection and was like, oh, hey, Kathleen, do you want to put your name on these products? That literally is how it feels. It feels like it doesn't have any distinct personality. This could be another random Colourpop product for the holidays. It's watering down Colourpop. It's watering down Kathleen Lights as a brand. It's not going to do anyone any good. And I doubt that anyone's going to be really excited to buy this product. If you're wanting a product from Colourpop and Kathleen Lights, most people are going to go for either the Dream Street palette or the Zodiac palette or like the lipstick she's done over the years. Like, this isn't anything anyone's really asking for, which I don't like having to say that, but this is literally just unnecessary. Y'all need to do better in 2019, Colourpop, because I don't want to have to keep talking about you again, and I certainly don't want to have to feature 3 collections in one video. In the immortal words of Miss Juicy, can't you come up with something else? The next palette I'm talking about is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. Wait a minute. Hello? Yeah, this palette you've gave me, I've already featured this on my channel. This is the Anastasia Sultry palette. You've already given me this palette to feature in an anti-haul. What? This isn't sultry? Are you sure? Fine. Apparently this is a new palette. All aboard the white nonsense train. This is sultry's less interesting twin. What's been said about this palette, I don't need to say again. The fact that this needed to happen is... It's on thin ice, to say the least. Like, the colour scheme isn't as good as the original Naked, which it's supposed to be replacing. By the way, you can still get the original Naked very easily in the UK. Like, I'm pretty sure it hasn't even been discontinued in the UK. And the original Naked looks better than this reloaded palette. Like, some of the pans are slightly bigger and the packaging's different, and it's just all sorts of unnecessariness. And compared to the older Naked palettes, like the Naked Smoky, which I love and I have and is fabulous and is sadly discontinued, and like the Naked Heat at least served a purpose even though it was very late. And even the Naked Cherry I really like. I have gone back and forth on whether I would consider getting the Naked Cherry, and I really don't know, but it's a very nice palette. This Naked Reloaded palette is just... Like, you know what I said about the Sultry palette in my anti-haul. You know I was pretty harsh on the Sultry palette. The Sultry palette is, like, miles ahead of this. This is monotony times 100 with bells and whistles on, and the kitchen sink, and Japanese bonus tracks. This is upsetting. Oh, need I say more? I don't even need to say any more. We're done with this. The next palette I'm talking about is the BH Cosmetics Zodiac Capricorn palette. Now, BH Cosmetics is releasing a new mini palette every month to represent every zodiac sign, and the first one is Capricorn. Now, first of all, I don't want to have to sit through another 12 months of cash grab zodiac releases. I've already had it with the Bite lipsticks, and now we're doing palettes. We get it! It's an easy way to get people to buy stuff that they wouldn't already buy. Did I make that comment in a video somewhere? Probably, but it still applies. It bears repeating. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
And if you look at this Capricorn palette, all I'm gonna say, I'm not stereotyping, but you can tell a straight person made this palette. 2 words. Wonder Bread. This is just brown. Cindy, this is browns. Why? No. I rebuke it. I rebuke it in the name of Carly Rae Jepsen and all things good and gay. This is not it, chief. Not in my house. This palette is dark-sided. The fact that BH Cosmetics would have this concept of a palette in the first place, but not only that, but have it be the most bland palette potentially on the planet. Are we keeping like statistics of which palette is the most bland? Because this one surely has to make the cut. And the thing is, BH Cosmetics isn't even bad with eyeshadow palettes. Like, they have palettes with good colour schemes. The original Zodiac palette's really nice. The Zodiac Love Signs palette is really nice, I think, personally. It's not like the most inventive thing ever, but I think it looks cute enough. And then you have the Weekend Festival palette, looks really nice. The Royal Affair palette, that's a neutral palette, but that's like a very nice neutral palette. It's like the friendly neutral palette that's also kind of interesting and has a cool side. But which one of you fuckers decided to make this Zodiac Capricorn palette? Because I will come to you and I will fight you. End of story. This next palette is something I have very high hopes for, and I really shouldn't have had such high hopes for. And this is the Lime Crime Venus XL2. Now, I have the original Venus 2 palette. I absolutely love this palette. I think that it is, look at this incredible child. This palette is inventive, it's grungy, it's got some nice colours that can still have a warm toned eye, but also employ different, more edgier takes to it. I think it's an excellent palette. Honestly, I think everyone needs this palette. So naturally, when Lime Crime announced they were doing a Venus XL2, I was really excited because I was thinking, oh, they're gonna try and do something a little bit like the Venus 2, but on a bigger scale. Like, in the same way that they did the Venus XL, making the original Venus palette in a bigger format. What we got instead was... oh my god. I wasn't really angry or wanting to take on some holier-than-thou persona for this. I was just really sad because I wanted to see something like the original Venus 2. Because that is honestly one of my all-time favourite palettes. The Venus XL2 is browns, light browns, shimmery browns, a little bit of green, but like olive muted green, peach, but very, very muted peach. This just upsets me. This just makes me upset. Like, you could have had such a nice palette, something that would have really been creative, something that would have caught people's eye, something people would have bought, and instead you made essentially a desaturated Venus XL original version with some greens in it. Lime Crime, I was rooting for you. We weren't all rooting for you, but I was, and you have disappointed me. This is sad. This makes me sad. I expect better. I feel like maybe it would be worthwhile for Lime Crime to try other formats, other than the Venus palettes. But I have a really interesting idea for a Venus 4, but I don't think Lime Crime would go down that route, because it's clearly off-brand at this point. Clearly, the people at Lime Crime are having stale tea. At least in the eyeshadow palette department. Whoever's in the plushies is doing great. Keep it up. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Plushies are wonderful. But whoever's doing the eyeshadow palette, they need a little bit of a reality check, because the reality is no one is really excited for this palette. But goddammit, Lime Crime, you could have done a good job. So next up, Jeffree Star is making a hairbrush. And he can keep it. That's all. And then finally, let's talk about the final product. That was completely unnecessary to add another final. But let's talk about the next product, which is the big Morphe complexion launch, including the foundations, the setting powders, and the concealers. I was trying to think of the other products, but mostly the foundation we're talking about. Don't get me wrong, it disappoints me when brands miss the mark when it comes to shade ranges and creating complexion products. But god, this is a train wreck. This is a mess, and I am loving it. This is just so messy. Don't come at me. I'm a messy gay. I like drama. This is just so much fun to see. People's honesty is being questioned. A lot of people are having fun with this because even though it's good that Morphe has done 60 Shades of Foundation, which should be praised, they have the numbers. But you need, like, everything else to make the foundation good. It's like they spent all the money on getting a number and compromised the actual quality of the foundation. A lot of the reports about the foundation have been saying that it's like paint and it's like a really weird texture. I've seen pictures of it staining on people's hands, which shouldn't really happen with full coverage foundations, because that's not what a foundation does. It covers, but it doesn't stain, and it is staining in this case, which is not good. I've seen pictures of the undertones. Like, the lighter tones are looking like banana yellow, like a fucking Simpsons. And then the darker shades of this green undertone have them looking like Princess Fiona. Like, either way, both the people with the lighter skin tones and the people with the darker skin tones are going to be kind of screwed over in this. I was actually excited to see what Morphe could do with complexion, but at least it's kind of funny this whole scandal's going down. Like, does every single year have to start with a foundation scandal? Because last year it was Tarte, who didn't make enough shades and didn't have a good gradient and just screwed the pooch on the Shape Tape foundation launch. And this year it's Morphe, where they have the number, but it's just everything else that's screwed up. It's funny, I'll be honest. I find it really hilarious. But I will say that these brands should be doing better in not screwing up so dramatically. I think I'm gonna stick with my Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. Oh, convenient plug. This is wonderful. Now, I believe there are 24 shades of this foundation, but they're actually expanding to 50 shades in late January. And I really love how this sits on my face. It has a nice texture, the coverage is good, and I love the applicator. I love this type of applicator because it's just really easy to dab on. Foundation, no mess, no fuss. It's awesome. I love this foundation. And it's affordable. And it's not Morphe. And it doesn't stain either. And I know it's like the bare minimum for a foundation not to stain, but apparently Morphe doesn't know that. I just think that this is a mess, and I'm just living my best life, sat like Sky Jackson, just kind of eating my popcorn and minding my business. I won't be buying this foundation, but if you do, let me know how it goes, because I'd love to know. Genuinely. If it stains, let me know. If it makes you look like a lemon, let me know. If it makes you look like an ogre, let me know. Because I'm really interested in seeing what happens with this foundation launch. And that is all for the anti-haul. Holy shit. Poetry. Okay. Yes. Where is my Pulitzer Prize? Those are all the products I had to talk about. I'm sure that there's going to be more products that I'll need to talk about later. But I'm saving that for later because we don't need to make this video any longer than it already is. I like nice short bursts of criticism, not a 30-minute long thing of criticism, which I see some people doing and is just like, no, too much. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, then subscribe to my channel below. As always, I am ArielNetwork on Twitter and ArielNet on Instagram, so check me out if you want to see more of me. And finally, thank you for spending time with me today. Love you for watching. Bye! Ooh, that's some extra pipes in there.